New World was revived, at least that's what it felt like. Servers had queues, they just released a huge, well-received update, and people were playing it. But we can't have nice things. The Lord of the Rings MMO, which was brought back with a new deal, was one of the most anticipated MMORPGs on lists over the years despite knowing very little about it, given the IP and the money behind it. But we can't have nice things. Amazon, the parent company of AGS who made New World, was days out from receiving an $80 million tax break for a new Orange County warehouse. And then came the frustrating refrain. Layoffs. Layoffs across the industry. Layoffs across all of Amazon. 13,000 or so layoffs. Studios closing. Maybe because of AI, because AI has so much possibility. Yeah. Now there's no official announcement yet of the Lord of the Rings MMO, but the studio making it just got slashed along with New World, one of the largest new MMOs to launch post-WoW, with a box price hitting a peak just shy of 1 million players. Now, if you've been around MMOs long enough, you kind of know that just hitting about 1 million players is apparently not enough to keep you in, good graces. Warhammer Age of Reckoning and Age of Conan would like to have a word, as both of those games hit extreme numbers, only to be canceled, killed off, and left to die and rot in a little pit with all the other MMOs. But New World is heading straight into maintenance mode in the wake of Amazon's cuts, and the game is set to receive no further updates. Their intention is to run the game servers through 2026, putting an end date on the game of roughly half a decade. New World was a bit of an enigma. It did a lot right, sound design, visuals, it had engaging combat, but it stumbled hard on server sizes, identity between PvP and PvE. It was filled with bugs, including some god-awful ones at launch that were damn near dangerous, and it truly lacked any sense of PvE identity. Not to mention that they copy and pasted the outpost over and over again, something that Chrono Odyssey may actually be doing directly from New World, so there'll be a legacy for the game, I guess. As the game cratered and became a punchline for many, including myself, after all, the game did launch without swimming, despite having water everywhere. They continued to iterate and update. They released an expansion, free update, shifted models, and they stumbled again by tossing a Hail Mary toward console with some of the worst communication I have ever seen. Like literally some of the worst communication. People thought the game was canceled then, not now, that they had spun off into something entirely different. But still, the game persisted. It's also important to keep in mind that as this MMO closes, real people like you and I, are losing their jobs. People with families, people with careers, people with aspirations and dreams are seeing those cut and curtailed right now because someone's stock portfolio wasn't high enough. These are people who put everything they could into an unforgiving industry: animators, artists, storytellers, coders, and so many more. They're now jobless, so just keep that in mind. In an industry that has been so devastated by constant layoffs, this feels particularly painful. Not because New World was some unique and awe-inspiring game, it really wasn't. Or that their plucky team kept going despite the major drops in player base. Many other teams have done the same. It hurts because this is yet again another MMO from a big company that is being cut short just as it was finding a small dedicated audience. It's potentially yet another MMO in the Lord of the Rings MMO being cut, killed off, shut down before we ever get a chance to play it or even see it. For AI, I guess, the promise of faster, cheaper, and more reiterative content that we've already seen 1,000 times because it can't create new things, it can only create things that were already created. The faster and cheaper route, that's gonna result in more quality for us, the people that are actually buying the game. I don't foresee it. It joins another long in development MMO, Project Blackbird from ZeniMax, that was killed off in similar AI-driven cuts. It follows Project Ghost getting its funding pulled and all of the chaos at NCSoft. For a long time, I've said that indie MMOs are going to be the future. but I quietly hoped they wouldn't be the only future. I quietly hoped that an MMO like the Lord of the Rings MMO could come out and be something of a revelation for us, that could be a true AAA MMO that we haven't seen in so long, with like top tier graphics and everything that we've been wanting and hoping for, with an IP that we know. But this doesn't feel like that's really a possibility. This feels like a final nail in a coffin that I have been trying to hold up and keep from being buried because I just didn't want to believe it. It seems like the longer we go into this death spiral of the game industry, or at least the AAA industry, with a heavy focus on the MMO side of it, it's only going to get worse from here. For a while, I felt like the nadir of the industry was around 2008 or to 2012 or so, but perhaps that was premature. I can't shake the feeling that now we might truly be in that deep valley that I didn't want to believe. Over the last 2 years, we have seen exponentially more MMOs canceled than have launched. And even large stalwart games like Elder Scrolls Online and Guild Wars 2 have had questions raised about their viability going forward, let alone Star Wars: The Old Republic. I won't sit here and fake optimism because I can't. This year has been tough for MMORPGs. I've felt it, and I'm sure you have felt it as well. There's just a weight on the industry. And I feel like it's an interesting place because indie games are thriving in this industry, especially like indie RPGs or indie friendslop games like Peak or Expedition 33, which isn't indie, but small team. Those games are doing really well, but the MMO genre requires so much into it. I think that's why so many people, myself included, are seeing the adjacent industries, the adjacent genres, like the survival craft as like maybe the next step for this genre, because it doesn't feel like there is enough push right now for the MMO genre. And this may be my most negative video, and maybe I should have waited a couple days to do this and use more of a script, but I felt like I needed to do a video on this because it sucks. Whether you liked New World or not, I know I certainly had a very mixed relationship with it. At times I was frustrated and hated it, and other times I had a decent and fun time with it. There was stuff I actually enjoyed. But this just sucks in general, not because of just that MMO or the people in that MMO, but also what it says about this genre that we all love. And if you, after this video, you feel like you need some kind of pick-me-up, something to kind of bring back a feeling of nostalgia or hope, I don't have much, but I do have this video that I did right here where I listened to you and I listened to other content creators and I listened to other game developers to hear what they had to say about why we play MMORPGs. I recommend watching that video. I might go watch it if I can stand cringing at my own self. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Richard Flynn, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day.